Viewers, and this is an interesting conversation where I'm sure you have a view, and I would love to hear your view. This is about our netas choosing private hospitals for their own treatment over public hospitals. And actually, there is a big debate that's already going on, and I'm sure some of you would have heard about it in the light of the fact that recently there have been as many as 15, actually specifically 17 that we counted, 17 ministers or elected representatives, part of governments, who have been tested positive for COVID, who have been admitted to hospitals, and all of them have chosen or been admitted in a private hospital. And now there are many who are asking this question, is that right? Does it send the right message if our own government and ministers and elected representatives will not show faith in public hospitals, in government hospitals, in our public doctors and healthcare infrastructure? Then what message does it send? How will you and I have faith in these hospitals? Many others also say that if our own governments and ministers don't get admitted in government hospitals, how will they ever find out the reality? How will they ever find out how bad the situation is? While, on the other hand, those backing the netas say, well, it's their choice. If they fall ill, shouldn't we let them decide where they want to get treated, where they feel the most comfortable? What about the fact that they have a large security setup, including the top cabinet ministers? And if they are admitted in a hospital, it's going to create a little bit of inconvenience for sure for the rest of the people in that hospital. So why do it in a government hospital? Why not leave that space for people who actually need those hospitals and actually go to a private one, pay for it, and get treated there? There are two sides to this debate. You call up and tell me which side are you on. Essentially, my question is it really sending out the right message if our netas, ministers choose to be in a private hospital, to be treated for coronavirus in a private hospital than any public hospital? And I specifically want to raise this now because we are in a pandemic and the fear of having to go to a hospital is there in all of our minds. Any one of us can catch COVID tomorrow. There are reports after reports, including a lot that Mirror Now has done, about how many of the hospitals are running out of space or struggling, shortage of doctors, public and private. In such a scenario, is this the right thing to do? Let's say good evening to our panelists. We're already running behind on time, so I don't want to waste any more time. Let's say good evening to Shazia Ilmi, National Spokesperson for the BJP, Mr. V.A. Pugazandi, Spokesperson for the AIADMK, Mahesh Bigala, Leader of the TRS, Adil Singh Boparai of the Congress Party, and Dr. Sumit Shah, Senior Laparoscopic and Bariatric Surgeon in South Delhi. In fact, Dr. Shah, let me begin with you. You are the apolitical person on this panel, but I did see your tweet and I thought you had an interesting view on it. Share it with our viewers, Dr. Shah. What do you think of 17 of our netas choosing private hospitals over public?
My views are my personal views, and I don't represent any political outfit or any organization whatsoever. And I completely, first of all, let me say I have full regard because health is a personal issue, and I have complete regard for every individual for his right to choose whichever space he wants or hospital or doctor he wants. It is his fundamental right. So to that effect, I have no problem with anybody wanting to choose where they want to go. But, when you are a political representative and you are in a position of power, you have the unique ability and the responsibility to make situation comfortable not only for the population at large, but also for yourself and everybody like you and me to feel comfortable in a public hospital. Now, this was a pandemic situation. I sometimes equate it, with like having an earthquake or a flood situation. And then, who's going to help the people of this country? The responsibility and the onus of helping in a disaster, and this don't, this is a natural disaster. the onus of helping everybody, rich or poor, whether in government service or public service, is for the government to help them out in this situation. And this is where, across different states, and we have seen one after the other story, public visuals of how the government hospitals have virtually sort of, creaked under the kind of, the maintenance and the facilities that they can provide. And the result is that we see that the poor people crying out in a poorly facilitated or poor facility public hospitals, and our politicians can feel comfortable going to the richer and to the more classier and to the more equipped private hospitals. Now this is something which is not new. This is something which has been happening over at least a
Yeah.
couple of decades. There has been a gradual decline in the level of service that private public hospital can provide, and there is a widening gap. And so, just as there is this big uproar on what private hospitals are charging, nobody is asking this question that why people have to go to the private hospitals. This is a pandemic. This is a natural disaster. Why should your public hospitals not be up to
Right.
it? And politicians, by going, those in power, by going to large private hospitals or high-end private hospitals, are just confirming our bias that that there has been a consistent ignoring of the public hospitals over the last few decades.
Okay, let me actually take that to our panelists then, and let me start with Shazia Ilmi. Shazia, does it send the wrong signal if our politicians, if our sitting
No, not at
ministers,
all.
MLAs, MPs don't want treatment in government hospitals?
No, I totally disagree with that point of view. And I think our friend who was the preceding speaker perhaps does not know that most people would choose, especially the hospitals in Delhi and the super specialty government hospitals are far better in terms of faculty, in terms of service, in terms of experience. And I think, and I believe, in fact, that all the politicians or people with money should not really clog up resources of the sarkari and government hospitals and leave it for the people, because I know that private hospitals would be far more expensive and far more unaffordable for the regular citizens. I cannot equate the situation when it comes to the schools, though. I would be very happy if I were to really look at equity for politicians and the other class if it came to sending your children to sarkari schools. I think that's where the story would change. But I actually believe that the government hospitals are far better, far more affordable. So I do not have that bias. It is a bias in the preceding speaker's mind that private hospitals are far better. I know of so many more cases going wrong. And I know the doctors being really good as gold in terms of experience, in terms of practice, in terms of ethics in the sarkari hospitals. So I think the politicians should go to the private hospitals, not clog up the government resources, and allow common people to find beds in the sarkari hospitals and not expect free seva. They should go to private hospitals and pay for themselves over there.
Okay, so Shazia Almi says, Adil Boparai, that it has nothing to do with the fact that the government hospitals are not good, but more from the point of view that leave that space for people who perhaps can't afford the expensive private hospitals. Adil Boparai.
Well, Tanvi, I'm so glad that you're raising this issue because I think this is very pertinent in the middle of a health emergency. You know, the real issue here is the state of our infrastructure, the state of our hospitals. I think that's the crux of the issue here. Now, we've seen hospital after hospital in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar where the ICU wards have knee-length water. The Ahmedabad High Court gave a very castigating indictment about the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital, calling it a dungeon. So the real issue today is not about whether X politician or Y politician is choosing a private hospital. The real issue is what message are you sending? And are you really inspiring people as far as the public health infrastructure is concerned? Now, year after year, since this government has come to power, and I don't want to make it into a political slanging match here, but the proportion of our health budget incommensurate to our
Yeah.
total budget has reduced. This is a reality. It's a fact. Now, had senior ministers actually gone to public hospitals, it would have reinforced that, yes, the government is actually focusing on improving our health infrastructure. Now, we've seen, now everybody in this country cannot afford 1 lakh rupees for daily expenditure and for daily fees to private hospitals. Perhaps the BJP, affluent BJP politicians can. But an average citizen, 80% of average citizens cannot afford that kind of expenses. So
No,
therefore,
let's
keeping
not
all
go
these
there about
factors in
BJP
mind,
politicians. I'm not talking
I
about
did
the
not
royal
interrupt
family of
you.
your
I did not.
party, Adil
No, this is
Boparia.
the problem.
I'm not
This is the
talking about
problem.
where Sonia ji goes, whether it's New
Tanvi,
York or
Tanvi,
any other part of the world, or
Tanvi,
Rahul
it's a
Gandhi. So
pity.
let's
It's a
not go
pity
there.
that even during the
Let's
health
not go there. I think we
emergency,
should
the
maintain some
BJP
decency
spokesperson
and not
is
make it
not
Okay.
doing
personal.
Shazia, let's not talk over each other.
Yeah.
Please. Let's not talk over each other. I'll come back to you.
You
Then
know,
you can respond to
I
him.
extended, I
Yes.
extended
Adil,
that
finish your
courtesy.
point, please. And
Yeah, I hope she extends that courtesy back to me. The issue today is Shazia, Tanvi, that there's an Ahmedabad High Court which called the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital a dungeon. This is not my concoction, Shajaji. This is an indictment by a court of law.
This
The
is not
BJP
even what
has
I'm
been in
talking
power.
about. I was making another
Can you
point.
please
So
allow
I
me to
don't know why you're
complete?
addressing it to
Can
me
you
at
please
all.
allow me to complete?
We were
You know, that's the problem with the BJP. You just can't have a debate with them because the entire focus is on propaganda
Yeah,
and
you can't
optics,
have a
not
debate
facts.
with BJP coming from
The
Congress,
real
whose
issue is,
entire
Tanvi,
party and his
that public health
entire
infrastructure is
sense
in
of
shambles.
politics is about
Health
entitlement.
infrastructure is
Okay.
shambles.
May,
The BJP
And
wants to
we're
focus
talking
on
about
let's not
propaganda.
get
party.
They
derailed,
have
please.
Let's
thousands of crores
Let's not
that
get
they can
derailed, please.
dedicate towards
May
optics and advertisement,
I
but
just
they have
come in
no
here,
money.
Shazia
They have no
and
money
Adil.
for the ordinary
Let's not get
citizens of this
derailed.
country.
It's an important issue. I want to understand why. Let's understand. Let the viewers understand why do politicians do this. Let's
That's it. The
understand why
BJP
Mr. Amit
spokesperson
Shah,
never interrupts
Mr.
me.
Dharmendra
Every 10
Pradhan,
I
two
think
seconds.
they
union
should do this.
ministers, why
I don't think
Bawari Lal
politicians should
Purohit,
go.
a sitting
I don't
governor.
think politicians
Let me
should
just
go.
let me finish my point, please.
But he's
No,
been
they won't
making a
let you
point
speak.
forever.
They want to run a
He's got
propaganda
the
Yes.
campaign.
BJP.
They will
Let's
not let you
understand
speak.
why Mr. Thangamani, the power minister of Tamil Nadu, goes to Apollo Hospital. Let's understand why Mr. Anbagalagan, education minister of Tamil Nadu, goes to a private hospital. Let's understand why Mr. Yedurappa, Shivraj Singh Chauhan went to a private
Why
hospital.
Arvind Kejriwal
Let's
goes
understand
to private
why
hospital.
Arvind Singh Bhadoria in MP went to a private hospital. Let's understand why Ashok Chavan, Maharashtra minister, went to the Breach Candy Hospital, why Dhananjay Munde went to Breach Candy Hospital, Jitendra Awad went to Fortis Hospital. Let's understand why in Telangana, Mehboob Ali, the Home Minister, went to Apollo Hospital. Or why Siddaramaiah is in a private hospital, is in Manipal Hospital. It's across party lines, please. Let's not make it a Congress versus BJP fight. Let's understand why that happens. Let me ask Mr. Mahesh Bigala. Why do politicians, ministers, those in the government choose private hospitals over government hospitals?
Tanvi, it's basically they have to have the fundamental right. It's for the data or bureaucrats or any business industrialist, whoever can. Basically, whatever they can afford, it should be an individual choice whether they want to go to the private or the government. If you look at the first time when this pandemic started, KCR said there is no private hospital can treat the COVID patients. It should be only the Gandhi Hospital, which is owned by the government. For the first 2 months till this, they opened up this lockdown, unlocked 1.0. Everybody, including whether the minister or chief minister, they have to go to the government hospital. That was the stand taken by the government of Telangana. And during that same time, there are a couple of even legislatures, including one of them is my own brother. He's MLA from the Nizamabad. He's the TRS party leader. He quarantined himself at the home, giving the way and opportunity at the government hospitals for the others. As soon as this pandemic continued to grow, and then there was no option but to open up the private hospitals across Telangana. And as soon as this COVID pandemic continued, the Telangana government took the initiative to start that COVID specialized hospitals in the Gachibowli, and there are in several districts everywhere the COVID specialized hospitals have started. and there was no option but give the permission to all the private hospitals. And also there are numerous reports that there is no treatment. Everybody knows whether it's a government or private hospitals. The treatment is one and the same. There is no special treatment because all of us know that there is no treatment at all. But however, some of the hospitals, in the name of treatment, the private hospitals are charging exorbitantly. And then the Telangana government took the stand in the last couple of days. They're canceling licenses for the two hospitals or maybe the no COVID treatment for those two hospitals. That's the stand the Telangana government is taking. But however, if it is a netas, as I said, like bureaucrats or whoever it is, it should be an individual choice. If they want to have a private, or they can go to the private, or some of the netas, if they want to go to overseas also, it's because it's a health condition. Nobody can really, the government can't enforce. And not only in this health, when we go back to the debate, as our other panelists said, even the education or anything, whoever can afford, they will choose their option and wherever. But again, end of the day, whether these netas are making sure the government hospitals are functioning, whether the facilities have been provided,
as public representatives, yes, Mr. Bigala, as public representatives, if they don't experience firsthand how bad the situation is, and Shazia may be right, in Delhi the government hospitals are way better than in some other parts of our country, but if our public representatives don't get first-hand experience of the condition of government hospitals, how will they even know what has to be fixed? How will our health infrastructure budget ever go up? How will we build more hospitals and bring in more doctors when we don't know how bad it is?
Good question, Tanvi.
Yes, Mr. Bigala first.
You don't need to be admitted to get to know about the infrastructure in the hospitals. Our health minister from the day one, since the pandemic has started, the E.T.L. Rajendra, the health minister, he's been in contact with every hospital and he's visiting all the government hospitals, including the private hospitals. He's on top of it, the monitoring. And also our chief ministers continuously having the review on this COVID-19 overall, how these are monitoring. And also that's how they could take the initiative even to start this COVID hospitals in the district level. They're going to second tier cities, even third tier cities. So it's not that, I don't agree with your point that you don't need to be admitted to know about the infrastructure. As long as your government system can monitor how they can address.
Sorry, making rounds, visiting hospitals doesn't give you a taste of the reality until you are there, until you realize that nobody's checked up on you for 10 straight hours, that nobody's coming to you when you need help, or water, or food, or allowing you to speak to your relatives, or helping you get a room.
Tanvi, can I come in?
That doesn't happen. You see, that depends on in what capacity you go to the hospital. Some of the politicians, and I know this for a fact, when they go to AIIMS and those places, they get all the facilities because they come from the government quota.
That is the state of public healthcare in Gujarat and in BJP ruled states. There is length water.
I don't think AIIMS would be a good benchmark for this. Yes.
Can I come in, Tanvi?
Okay, I don't think Shazia, Delhi hospitals or AIIMS is a good benchmark because they are supposed to be good hospitals. Nobody doubts in a hospital like AIIMS. Yes, Adil, quickly make a point because then I have to go across to the AIADMK representative as well.
Tanvi, everybody knows.
Yes, one minute please. And let Adil make his point. I will come back to you, Shazia. One by one, please. Yes, Adil.
Tanvi, every doctor and every health scientist worth his salt has said that the lockdown is not a panacea in itself. The lockdown was a window or an opportunity for us to augment our health infrastructure. That is what the purpose of a lockdown was. The question today is that have we augmented our healthcare infrastructure? We are looking at 40,000 deaths today, over 19 lakh infections. We have the highest number of corona cases in the world. And you have high governmental representatives who have no faith in public infrastructure because there is no allocation towards boosting that infrastructure. This is the problem. What we really need to do today is you have to dedicate funds towards healthcare. Please stop your propaganda. Please stop your optics. This is an emergency which India has to battle together.
Okay. No, I don't think it's about one party's propaganda versus the other, Adil. It's not. There is no party that has given healthcare more importance than the other one. Look at historically our spending on healthcare infrastructure. The reason our government hospitals are in a bad state, Adil Boparai, is because no party, no government has given it that kind of importance. Okay. May I go across to Mr. Pugarzandi and ask him this question? Thank you for patiently waiting, sir. But why is it that minister after minister from Tamil Nadu has chosen to get treated in a private hospital? Are the government hospitals that bad?
Good evening to Mirror. Now, Madam, very clear, 24 elected representative from Tamil Nadu, included the minister. Already you have mentioned the name also. If a leaders or minister or anyone come to the government hospital, then doctors and other staff concentration will be on the leaders only. This is disturbing to the other patients. Very, very important. You can make out our honorable chief minister. Now I am also in Bangalore. Our Yediyurappa seeing the file, attending the file. So this is the home quarantine is going on. So if it is the government hospital, the privacy very important is definitely workers, party cadres, and other people all used to come and disturb the things. Very, very important. It disturb to other patients also. That is here clearly our friend mentioned no vaccine, no medicine. So you cannot treat specially the private hospital, either the government hospital. There no nothing, no treatment. Only the quarantine time we are using now tocilizumab and remdesivir. The two medicine launched, only that is also not proved. This is the thing is going on. Another thing is very, very important. The bed shortage is going on in entire country. You know very well, you know than me, the details and everything. Now the intention is we do not disturb the public. That they want to get the first preference for the bed and other thing. Not to infect others. That is another thing is very important. So these things are avoiding. So here also ministers and secretary family admitted in the government hospital. Some few MLAs and other people also treated in government hospital in Tamil Nadu. So no intention here. But first preference goes to people, public. That is very, very important than us. That we can go anywhere. That is a different. But treatment, no different treatment between the government hospital and the private hospital. This is very, very, very important, madam. This is the thing that I am submitting because here no BJP,
No, the
no
treatment
Congress.
is different, sir. I think that's the point. If political parties sit here and tell me that there is no difference between government hospitals and private hospitals, then you're mistaken. Ask any common man who has to go and get admitted in a government hospital. Sure, there are a handful of hospitals which are really good, public hospital, government hospitals with the world-class facilities and treatment and infrastructure available, but not every government hospital is that. Yes, Shazia, go ahead. You wanted to make a point.
Are really, really bad. You know, I know people who went to hospitals like Apollo, and the bills that they got were crazy, and they had such a terrible time. They were calling me and they could afford, can you get us a place in any of the government hospitals? They did not have faith in Apollo, and this happened as recently as last month. So when you look at something like COVID, when there are so many regular citizens wanting a space or a bed in a government hospital, I think that space must be given to people who cannot afford private hospitals. When it comes to other situations apart from COVID, I think the government hospitals have to be up to mark. There has to be more, the budgets for infrastructure, for medical care, for tertiary services has to be much better.
But
So
an
there is
ordinary citizen
these are not
cannot afford
mutually
1 minute, please.
So have
Yes,
you
1 minute,
boosted health
please.
infrastructure? That's the core issue. We can keep beating about the bush. The issue is affordability and the efficiency of public healthcare system. When civil hospitals are being referred to as dungeons, and an ordinary citizen, a lower middle class citizen, cannot afford 1 lakh rupees. He cannot afford 1 lakh rupees in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad. So what does he do? He's left without healthcare.
No, what
He's
about
left
Ashok
without
Chavan and
Yeah.
Beach Candy?
access to
I
healthcare.
think you're missing
This
that
is the
point.
issue.
You're making
You
it
have to
again very
dedicate
political
funds
instead of looking at
towards
actually
healthcare.
working on
You have
infrastructure.
to
Why can't
delink
you speak being a
propaganda
government spokesperson
with
about why
scientific
all the
Tanvi.
ministers are going to
methods of
Beach
treating this
Candy?
disease.
You have your government there. Why does
Okay,
Ashok
okay,
Chavan
okay,
trust
okay,
The
okay.
problem with
Can I make a
Kailaji
point?
is
What is wrong
that
with
we
Dr.
love to hear that
Shazia,
kind of
Shazia
voice.
and Adil,
So he keeps on
Shazia and
repeating again
Adil,
and
1
again.
minute, please.
Please answer that.
You
Can I make a
both
point?
know me so well.
power
Shazia
in
and
Gujarat for
Adil Singh
15 years.
Boparai.
civil
Can you
hospital is being
please
called a
listen to me?
dungeon.
This is not fair. This is not fair. This is not fair, Adil Singh Boparai, please. You both know me so well. You both know how Mira now conducts his debates. Please. We've done that in the past. We've politely heard each other out. Let's not do this. Let's not. It's a very simple question I'm asking. And we can all hear each other. There are only the five of you. It's not a yelling debate. Please, let's not do this. I will not be able to understand anything, neither will the viewer. Now, if I can just go across to one of our viewers who's on the phone line right now with me. Mr. Khanna is there and he's patiently been listening to everybody. Okay, we seem to have lost that line with Mr. Khanna, but let me go back to Dr. Shah. Dr. Shah, you've heard what the politicians had to say, those who represent the parties of whose ministers have been in private hospitals. Are you convinced, or does this logic, convince you that they want to leave that space for those who can't afford private hospitals? Let the government hospitals be available for the common man.
Tanvi, it is a specious argument, to say the least. Having 15, 18 politicians admitted in a government hospital with a bed capacity of more than 2,000, you think it's really going to clog up the government hospital? And I am again telling you, this is not only about this pandemic. It is not about one particular party. It's not about one particular hospital. It is quite regrettable that Ms. Ilmi is trying to name a particular hospital on this debate. It is a very sad situation. But the point is, we are not saying the doctors are all the same, whether they are private hospital, public hospitals. I got trained in a public hospital system. I'm right now working with private healthcare. And many of my colleagues are working with the public hospital system. There is no difference. The point why people don't want to go to public hospitals is because of hygiene issues. How dirty are the toilets? Is there even a clean bedsheet on the mattress? Does anybody come to clean your room regularly? Is the air conditioning working? Are there even fans? Are the ward boys available? There are basic hygiene issues why people don't want to go to, which nobody wants to address. Don't say that we don't want to clog up the beds. I understand it is the right of a person to go wherever. The point is, the infrastructure is so bad. The beds are so bad, the linen is so bad, the toilets are so dirty, there is understaffing, vacancies are lying vacant, posts are lying vacant for years together, and you want to continue to fill them up, by taking people on ad hoc jobs. And even the super specialists, those who are postdoctoral doctors, are now being taken on ad hoc jobs. So are the all categories of healthcare workers, starting from the orderlies, nursing orderlies to nurses. So there are so many posts lying vacant. And if you look at the healthcare worker to the patient ratio, it is bad. And even in the non-COVID times, this is a routine. And, in 2 decades, nobody has tried to uplift the basic infrastructure. Please don't talk about doctors at all. This is about the basic hygiene issue, cleanliness issue. We are on a Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. We want to make toilets, but who keeps them clean? So that is the basic issue. Nobody is rising.
In fact,
we are talking about
Dr. Shah, it's not about doubting the skills of the doctors.
Okay, so can I come in now? For you, hygiene is a big issue.
In fact,
for
Dr.
me,
Shah,
hygiene is a big issue. But doctors, I'm talking also about doctors. While you put the Sarkari hospitals very low down on hygiene, I place them very high up on the quality of doctors. So your argument is also very, very specious.
That is your
and I'm not disputing the fact.
Your perception is not correct. It's a bias that you have.
Things have to be looked at. But I'm talking about specifically about COVID, that these individuals who can afford should not.
Shazia, I think the debate is not about the quality of doctors at all.
For not getting beds in the
correct. I mean, this is a bias,
Whether it's Arvind Kejriwal, who's not from my party, or the Delhi health minister, both of them went to a private hospital. They would have got the best treatment from the best Sarkari
Okay, I'm out of time. Sorry.
It's not about party.
Yes.
It's not about...
No. I'm out of time. I understand. I agree with Shazia Almi when she says, but it's not about the doctors and the skills of the doctors in public hospitals versus private hospitals. It's about the availability of resources, the conditions of these hospitals. People are running away from quarantine facilities, treatment facilities and hospitals. Why is that? It's not because they don't care about their own lives. It's because the conditions there are so bad. It's because it's so unhygienic. People forget to give them proper food. They have to share these bathrooms. That's the condition. Now, when our leaders choose to not go to these places and choose to be in private hospitals, does that send the wrong message? I'm going to quickly go across to a caller on the phone line, thanking all of our panelists for joining us right now. But let me ask Mr. Mishra. Mr. Mishra is on the phone line from Kanpur. Yes, Mr. Mishra, what's your view?
I'm Dr. Mishra. Actually, I'm related to healthcare services, and I'm calling from Kanpur. And let me tell that, yes, it is very true that the government facilities or the public sector hospitals, they are not at all to the standard. And 80% of the services, health services, are provided by private sector. And I think panelists, they fail to address the question you have posed in the beginning, that do netas have trust on the public sector hospitals? Yes, it is clear no. And I would say I will go one step further, that it is not all talking about AIIMS or All India Institute of Medical Sciences. If you talk about peripheral hospitals all across the country, they are in a poor shape. And I know very many patients, especially in the COVID era, hiding their illnesses because they were scared of getting admitted into the public sector hospitals. And that was the reason, rightly, I think...
Okay, Dr. Mishra, I understand what you're saying. Yes, and just like you, that's what Dr. Shah also mentioned here on the panel. So those are two doctors sharing their views with us. Thank you, Dr. Mishra, for calling us. I also had Mr. D.K. Yadav, who called us, who said, the hospital's conditions are pathetic, which is why nobody wants to go to government hospitals. Mr. Ramadar called in from Chennai. He says the private hospitals are for the rich and the government hospitals are for the poor. Speaks volumes about the condition of the private hospitals. Suresh from Bengaluru said, completely agree with Dr. Shah. If netas use private hospitals, it shows they have no faith on government hospitals. I also had Dr. Sudeep Khanna from Delhi who called up. He said, I also agree with Dr. Shah. No doubt the doctors are good in government hospitals, but the health infrastructure is lacking. In fact, a poll that we carried out on Twitter showed an overwhelming over 90% of the respondents on that poll said it doesn't send the right message when the netas actually choose government hospitals, private hospitals over government hospitals. That's what the people have to say. And that's where I'm going to leave it and move on to our other big conversation. Because it's times of pandemic and we are talking about COVID treatment, let's also tell you about this new development. Because if you remember, Mirror Now highlighted the black market situation for the remdesivir drug. One of the first key drugs that was cleared that can be given to COVID patients when they are in a serious condition, when they are under specified conditions, this drug can be used. But what is actually being priced between 3,500 to 5,500 is being sold in the market for 40,000, 50,000, 80,000, all the way up to ₹1,00,000. Now, this was over a month ago. The government even took a note of it and told the state governments to crack down on the black marketers and the racket. Today is the first time, in the last 2 days, is the first time that some concrete, large-scale action has been taken. This proves our point of just how bad it is there in this market and how there are these people trying to make money out of your helplessness and desperation. So let me tell you about the remdesivir racket that has now been busted. The first set of arrests were made on July 29th. Probe revealed link to pharmacists. Raids were conducted at medical stores. The chain exposed other pharmacies. Then the chain had to go back to what's happening from the manufacturer's end and where is this drug really going. Hospitals are also on the radar. And it's an international racket. It's a multi-state investigation here in India with international people now involved. Drugs smuggled to Iraq with the help of patients. Iraqi patients would visit India for treatment. In fact, now they have, under the radar are 4 Iraqis in Gurugram who lured in foreign patients and they bought the drug from pharmacists at 18,000 per vial. The drug was being smuggled at ₹1,00,000 per vial. Shocking. When the common man is out there struggling for each vial, waiting, running around. This is the kind of racket that is going on. Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us with some more insights of what's happening. Avantika Ghosh, Senior Associate Editor of The Print, with me this evening. Dr. T.V. Narayana, National President for the Indian Pharmaceutical Association. And Dr. Nitin Dange, Professor, Consultant Senior Endovascular Neurosurgeon at KM Hospital and Lilavati Hospital. In fact, Dr. Dange, let me begin with you. Of course, a month ago, the shortage of this drug was one of the biggest problems. It was huge. But now that more manufacturers are making it, has it eased out? And what's your own reading of the racket that's going on as far as the black market is concerned? Is it still easily available, outside and not officially in the stores?
Good evening, Tanvi. Again, we are back after a month because last time we discussed about the availability of the drug. And now today we are here in spite of the FDA giving permission, the DCGA giving permission for easy availability of the drug for the COVID patient. It was already suggested to by the DCGA and the state-wise FDAs that the drug should be made available in each hospital for the patients those hospitals who are treating COVID patients. That was the best way to curb this racket and black marketing. But still, I'm shocked today, especially when I read the news about the Iraq racket going on in Delhi and the north, and it was really shocking. And I'm still hearing from some of the patients that are relatives, especially, they're running after vials of remdesivir. I don't know why, in spite of 1 month duration, the availability has been made very easily by the pharmas, but still there's some black marketing. And we need to go into the root cause and really into the depth of why this is happening. I really fail to understand where's the problem.
Okay, let me actually bring in Avantika on this, and Avantika was also with us the last time we had a conversation about it. Avantika, where is this? Where is the problem here? Is it in the supply chain, the middlemen, right at the starting point, or at the end point, which is actually leading to remdesivir making it to other locations and in the black market or being smuggled outside?
I would say the problem is in the hype. Remdesivir is still an investigational therapy. And there are many kinds of patients where it cannot be used. Patients with existing liver problems, existing renal impairment, pregnant people, children, and also since it's an investigational therapy, all we know is yes, it does reduce the period of the disease, the period of sickness in a significant number of patients. However, it is only to be used in moderate patients. I think there's a huge sort of disparity between how we have sort of projected COVID as a killer disease and remdesivir as its the only drug that works, that sort of a thing. Neither of which is actually true. And also, in fact, I did a story a few days ago. The health ministry actually is looking very seriously at some reports of liver toxicity in remdesivir, and that is why the dosage in the clinical management guidelines, the dosage of remdesivir was reduced. I think there's been too much hype on this drug, and because people are scared, so everybody who has somebody in their family with COVID wants remdesivir, but it's not always recommended. There are issues that can happen. There are side effects. I think also, see, you asked about the supply chain. So one very genuine problem is that the United States has actually bought up a lot of the drug, but I think more than anything else, what has happened is we've really hyped it. We have really projected it as something that really works. In fact, there are even articles in medical journals which say that there's a
Okay, I take your point. And of course, this is something that has been mentioned earlier as well, but as more and more usage happens and research shows that we probably have to be a little bit careful about it. But let me also highlight to our viewers the size of the racket that's been busted, and we don't know how many more such rackets are actually out there right now across our country, because people believe, contrary to what the experts might say, that this is perhaps the only thing that can help you, and even if they're not too sure about the evidence, if anybody is going to try their best and try whatever is possible to save their loved one. So if they can manage to, they will give 50,000. If they can manage to, they will give 1 lakh rupees, and that's what these vultures are actually preying on. That's what they're counting on, and that's how this entire racket is being carried out. Location number 1 is Gurugram, where cops conducted raids actually last month, and that's when the 4 Iraqis and 1 pharmacist were first held and then quizzed. Then in Delhi, from Gurugram in Delhi, in the month of August, just a few days ago, cops actually picked up 3 pharmacists who were allegedly part of this chain. In Agra, 1 pharmacist was held. In Jaipur, as the cops further investigated the entire chain, they have now reached Jaipur and they are investigating the possible links there. So it's gone up in multiple states. This racket continues, and it seems to be with pharmacists, with hospitals involved. Dr. T.V. Narayana, how is this happening? What's the supply chain like? Explain to our viewers, at what point is remdesivir getting out of the official supply chain and into the black market?
Yeah, first of all, my compliments to Tanvi for bringing out this international racket, drug racket, particularly with the people who are doing business with the lives of the people, which was unfortunate and inhuman. And here I want to compliment my drug controller officer, Amandeep Singh Chauhan, who is the actual person involved in bringing this racket outside. When it was brought to his notice, I am proud that he is also a member of our Indian Pharmaceutical Association and All India Drug Control Officers Confederation. When this was brought to his notice, immediately he informed this to CM Flying Squad team of Haryana, where the government has allotted 2 ACPs with him, with another drug control officers. He seized 45 lakhs worth of drugs. That's what stunning factor. More than 45 lakhs worth drugs used for COVID, oncology, narcotics, and analgesics, etc., was seized. Here, and also they booked the case under the Essential Commodities Act and the Drug Price Controlling Order case. Again, when they investigated, it was sold from the Delhi. You have mentioned pharmacist. Pharmacist is not a pharmacist. He is a wholesale license holder, registered pharmacist. He can hire a pharmacist or a person experienced in selling drugs with 1 year degree in qualification or 4 years with the 10th class qualification can run this wholesale. That's how these are people who are making the business. It is only 1 pharmacist involved at retailer who is in this racket. That's what I want to bring it to your notice. And this supply chain management, see, major remdesivir was manufactured earlier by a hetero company from Hyderabad and Cipla company from Mumbai. And later it was Mylan Laboratories and Jubilant. Only 4 are in race now. Shortly, Zydus Cadila and other company, Zydus Cadila and 1 more company is coming into the market from next month. The companies are supplying directly to the COVID-19 hospitals. They are not supplying to any pharmacies as per the chain management practiced in the selling and distribution of the pharmaceuticals. Generally, it goes to the C&F agent, from there to wholesaler, from there to retailer. That was the chain management. But here, the companies supplied directly to the hospitals, COVID-19 permitted hospitals. And there were some incidents where the hospitals, private hospitals, charged more selling this drug. There were hue and cry last month, if you observe. They sold this drug for high rate and all. Again, the companies taken it a strong step, and they started their own distribution centers in some places, giving a wide publicity to the public and making this drug available to the public. And Companies are not involved in this international racket. Why means in United States, if you take the same drug was sold for 390 to 520 US dollars, 6 vials cost about 1.75 lakh to 2.2 lakh. That is the in US market. In India, they are making this drug available at affordable cost from 4,000 to 5,000 range, and the 6 vials cost about 24,000 to 32,400. That was the selling price of these companies. I don't think companies are involved in this racket for selling more. And the supply chain is when it was supplied to some of the private hospitals, this drug should be stored at 2 to 8 degrees
Right.
centigrade, which most of the hospitals may not be
Right.
availing this facility. For that, they may use the services of the pharmacy shops or wholesaler where the cold storage management for the cold storage management from where this might have happened. That's what when I look at the supply chain management. Even the distribution center directly opened by the companies are giving a foolproof supply of this drug to the common man, taking the details of the patient, attendant, hospital name, doctor name, with
Yeah.
COVID-19 certificate and doctor prescription only they are selling. Otherwise, it is very difficult to come out to the market. That's what I feel, and it is my opinion to say there will be some slip phase in between the hospital and cold storage management. That's what I can say on this platform.
Okay, but with the wholesalers under the radar and even the hospital officials, it sounds like an organized racket. In fact, in Haryana, in Gurugram, the FDA actually seized 86 vials of remdesivir from a pharmacist first, and 5 foreign nationals, including 4 Iraqis and 1 woman from Uzbekistan, were arrested. All of them had been staying in India without any valid document. The 4 Iraqis were working as translators with the 3 prominent hospitals in the city. Now it emerges, this is what has been reported, that they didn't even have valid visa, but they had been hired by hospitals to work as translators, and so perhaps they also had access to medicines. More investigation and details are awaited, but an organized racket had been going on for several weeks, viewers. And I think the state governments across board have to wake up and crack down on this market right now. People are going through a pandemic with their loved ones in the hospital, with no vaccine, no specific confirmed drug right now. There are a few drugs that have been allowed and are being used. Is this really the time that we can allow black marketeers to rip people off, to fleece them, to charge them, exploit their vulnerabilities, exploit their desperation at such a point? That's the question I am asking, and that's why I am requesting the state governments to actually crack down on this. A big thank you to all of the panelists who are joining us right now. And as I wrap up, I should also tell you, this is not the only one. There are people in this country who have zero conscience, recycling, and not the legitimate way, simply reusing and selling used disposable gloves. A massive racket has been busted. Look at your screens. Used gloves meant to be used and disposed in times of a pandemic were picked up, packaged, and were being sold again. And cartons of such gloves were found today. It's shocking the kind of ideas people come up with, as if their consciousness died completely. They don't care about anything except minting money out of people's desperation and vulnerabilities. You know that man is desperate. So let's make the most of it. Let's make some money out of it. I don't know what's going wrong in this country. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.